What do you think?
Well, I grew up so Catholic,
Yeah.
so I kind of was struggling a little bit. It was funny, I showed a friend of mine this book over the weekend who's extremely Catholic, very devout. She seems to think this is going to be a whole new religion now, and she was very negative, but then when she started looking through it, and it does quote a lot of Bible and biblical things, and she's like, you know what, I'm going to be very open to this.
Oh,
so
good.
I think that what everyone's saying about the going back and forth of, you know, so many people were raised with the strong base. Like, I'm very thankful for my strong base of religion. It sustains me, it brings me comfort, it brings me peace, it brings me just so much happiness and joy that I'm not really searching for all that much more. But anything like this I'm so open to, and I'm just learning and growing every day. So I think that I need to be more spiritual. That's what I need. And I don't think I have that spiritualness, and that's what I'm looking for. Because I do have my base that sustains me, that grounds me, that keeps me happy, but I'm looking for more spiritualism. So
I think we have to be really, really careful about trying to separate those two. Because I think religion attempts to describe spirituality, and religion has many of the principles of spirituality with some cultural ideas attached to it as well. So I think if we study different religions, you'll find the same or many similarities in terms of the principle of energy movement, the principle of spiritual movement, the principle of submission or letting go or alignment and so forth. And I am not one who's so, I'm not a proponent of people giving up their religion for a nameless sort of spirituality. I think that heaven is a place where different ideas can coexist, and when you bring your culture, your religion to a circle, and you can build a bridge between someone else's culture or religion based on the principle, it's a beautiful thing.
And the thing that's so great is that if spirituality is the common denominator, then everybody has something to connect on, and it creates the familiarity that people are drawn to when they're like, you know how people are drawn to familiarity. I don't have a profound example, but I think you get it. But you know what I mean? It just kind of is like, oh, we all have this common denominator, kind of like feeling like we're all oneness. We're all wanting to grow our spirits. We're all wanting to connect further with our souls and with God, and be better people and be happier and spread more love and joy.
See, that's interesting.
The only avenue that I really saw was to dig deeper, because I grew up Greek Orthodox, and I don't speak the language. I don't speak Greek. So try going to church as a kid where the service is in Greek and you don't understand anything that's going on. So you really, all you really can do is sit and be with it and explore and feel. And you know, what is it? And it's like going to church itself never really resonated with me. And I never liked using the word God, because to me I could never compartmentalize what I felt and what I knew to be out there to be something as small as a label. You know, as just one little thing, because there's so many different spiritual teachers out there and so many different, you know, religions and so on. And how can, you know, we have all these different teachers, you know, how can you just say God when there's so many? And as I got older and I started exploring more and got really more in tune with my spirituality, is when I started to appreciate religion more, you know, for what it does for people who, you know, as a basis for them to grow and explore.
I could see everybody's conflict with it, and I really just felt this negative like connotation for it, so I didn't really ever feel like I wanted to crack open the Bible or to go that deep with it. And then after reading this book and him showing all the different religious leaders in a different light, and it kind of just unlocked something for me that was like, maybe I want to go read all these different books like the Tao and like the Bible and re-look at it in maybe like a metaphysical type of way, and try and look at it from a different perspective than all of these preconceived notions that I have of a book that I, you know, haven't even read.
And once you start, you know, learning about all this, you just want to learn even more, and then you get even deeper, and then you're open to study all religions, you know, because they're all pointing at the same thing in the end. And that's what's so beautiful. Like, yeah, you want to get even deeper into it. And I think for us, like me too, I never, you know, got into the Bible so much, and I was raised very Catholic, and I was resisting it. And now it seems like, wow, you know, I could really get something from this.
he decodes what Jesus really meant. When they use the example of the kingdom of heaven is here and now. I mean, we talked about it earlier. It's like, okay, well, when I die, I guess I'll be really happy, you know. But it really is just about living the eternal happiness.
I'm very aware of the dysfunction because I work at a very dysfunctional place. No, you know what it is I just noticed, and really, it's like ever since I've started this spiritual path, it really doesn't bother me. Every once in a while, like I said, I flipped a little bit today, but you know, before I would have went to work and said, oh my God, we have this computer thing and it just sucks and everything sucks and everybody talks about how bad everything sucks. And I went in there, I was like so happy people were asking me if I'd been like smoking something on the way to work. Yeah, and actually the first, probably the first few hours, I did great, and then I think it just got wore down from, all the, but I think, so I can see that, and a lot of the horrible things that happen in the world of wars and all this kind of senseless things, I think that's where you see a lot of the dysfunction, but at the same time, you're seeing a lot of people embracing things like The Secret. I mean, who would think that something like that would turn into such a phenomenon, and kind of open people up to all kinds of other stuff like this, So, I mean, even my good friend that's in Kansas City, I was just on vacation with her, and, she's spiritual, but she's always kind of seemed more like mainstream Christian, kind of, a little bit. We started talking, I told her about this book. She's doing the webcast. She's really excited about it. She's like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for something like this. It's like, it's amazing how many people are really kind of, if
ready.
You just talk like 2 minutes,
right
people are very in tune with it. I'm like, wow.
Absolutely.
So I'm converting people at work.
For me, I'm aware of the dysfunction. I put that I'm aware of the dysfunction in the system that is set up for us, kind of the oligarchy, and within my friends, my family, my spiritual friends, my regular friends, everybody. Because we're all kind of torn in that, but at the same time, I am grateful for the dysfunction because it can teach us things, and it's there for a reason, and it's like an outward manifestation of what's going on the inside for us. So that I'm grateful that we're recognizing it, and we're being able to see that, so we can take steps to improve or change things.
I know how you feel. I used to actually be one of the people who used to believe in, like, oh yeah, world peace, this is a great thing, we should end all wars, everybody should all just be happy and get along and think the same. Then it kind of occurred to me that, you know what, we're never going to be in a place of complete peace because of the fact that it's that contrast that always drives innovation.
Especially for my friends that like haven't started a spiritual path, and I see the dysfunction in their lives, and I look at them and I was like, I have been there. So like I can put myself in their shoes and be like, you know what, they're on that part of their journey, and if they want to hear something that I'm saying or that I'm doing and I tell them and it affects them in a way that they want to like shift this way, then that's good for them. But I never want to like push it. I just want them to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
At the right time. And it does come. It does come.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing to go ahead and provide contrast for them.
Yeah.
Let them see something entirely different. And then if they, sometimes you look at contrast and you get more clarity about what you don't want and what you do want. And other times you look at the contrast and you say, ooh, yeah, I want more of that. Yeah. And, it's great to be on both ends.
With somebody that's present, you look at into their eyes, and you're like, you feel immediate peace, Like right now, I feel the energy in this room. It's amazing. It really is.
So we have to thank Oprah for freezing up the whole system.
Yeah.
A bigger part of the world is ready for change. I mean, the internet crashed tonight. I bet when we read the headlines tomorrow, it will be billions of people trying to get on this internet broadcast tonight, and the internet can't handle that. I mean, it's just, this is actually a great sign, I think, that a lot more people, the wilder the times, the more it seems the peril and the way humanity is like, wait a minute, we're in a big mess here. Sometimes that leads more people to spirituality, but it all goes.
It's perfect timing.
It's
happening today. It's perfect.
What I wrote when it paused, I said perhaps the pauses are occurring to give everybody a chance to catch up to the consciousness that's happening. Because like maybe they can't like feel like the consciousness isn't there yet, so it's giving us what we need. And like for us, we were sitting there passively watching this, and now all of a sudden the energy in this room alone has like risen, and we've been talking, sharing ideas, and so much has come out of that has happened. So I was like maybe it's not what we think it is, and it's not such a negative thing that happen. Everything happens for a reason, and maybe that's what we needed, and that's why it didn't happen.